Overtime rules have become such a hotly debated topic in the NFL in recent years, and one side finally won the battle this offseason. The NFL adapted overtime rules so that the regular season rules match the postseason, and each team gets the ball no matter what in overtime. But did they need to change? This debate has been ongoing for many years now, but I think it's still worth revisiting and discussing in finality, knowing now how it plays out. Today, I'm going to break down the history of the overtime rules, the current argument about them, and give some examples. Then I'll present my own opinion on the rules, whether they needed to change or didn't. First, a little history lesson. The NFL's overtime rules have gone through a few iterations to get where we're at today. Up until 2010, it was a straight up sudden death period. Whoever scored first won the game. Field goal, touchdown didn't matter. Then in 2009, the NFC Championship game between the Saints and Vikings went to overtime. The Saints won the coin toss, made a field goal, and the game was over. This was kind of the event that happened that made the NFL say, maybe we need to look at that and make it a little bit more fair. This prompted a rule change to allow each team to possess the ball if the first team to possess the ball scored a field goal and not a touchdown. Touchdowns were still game over. It is important to note here that for 2 years, this rule change only applied to the postseason, not to the regular season. So very similar to the rule change we recently saw that took effect for 2 years before, 3 years before applying to the regular season. But in 2012, the rules were adapted for the regular season as well. For 10 years after that, the rules didn't change until in 2022, following the infamous Bills-Chiefs playoff game, where Josh Allen left the field up 7 with 13 seconds left, and they ended up losing the game without him touching the field again. The league decided that in the playoffs, each team should possess the ball in overtime, touchdown or not. Now, most recently in April, the league's owners voted to align regular season rules with postseason once again, and that's where we're at today, with both postseason and regular season overtime rules being that any team or both teams will possess the ball no matter what happens on the first team's drive. Now, let's look at the two sides of the argument, and there really aren't two sides of an argument anymore, as the said changes have already taken effect, but just for this video's sake, let's say we're looking at the argument once again. The side that is for the change say that the NFL's rules generally favor higher offensive production and make it harder to play defense. So why did it only guarantee one offense the chance to touch the field in overtime when everything else says offense is where it's at? Those against the change say that your defense should have to show up if the coin toss dictates it. Just because you lost the toss doesn't mean your defense can't get a stop. It's important to play both sides of the ball, and a coin flip is just one way of deciding who gets the ball. Your defense still needs to be able to get a stop. Now, just to go over some evidence, last year there were 13 overtime games, and I would like to go through them to find out how many were effectively determined by the coin toss, meaning any game where the first team to touch the ball was able to score a touchdown and end the game before the other team got a chance on offense. Another way of saying that is, I would like to see which games would be affected by the new rule change in April. The first instance, Week 1, Rams versus Lions, Detroit won the toss in overtime, received the ball, scored a touchdown, and won the game without the Rams touching the ball on offense. Next time this happened was Week 5, Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. Atlanta won the toss, received the ball, scored a touchdown, winning the game without the Bucs touching the ball on offense. Then we had the Ravens and Bengals in Week 5. Baltimore won the toss, received the ball, fumbled the snap to the Bengals, who possessed the ball and missed a field goal. Baltimore won on a third possession field goal. That one would not have been affected by the new rule change. Patriots versus Titans in Week 9. Titans won the coin toss, received the ball, kicked a field goal, and stopped the Patriots on defense. So, despite them scoring on the first drive, the Patriots offense did touch the field. This outcome would not have been affected by the new rule change. Seahawks versus Rams, also in Week 9. Seattle won the toss, received the ball, turned it over on downs, and led up a touchdown to the Rams. This game would not have been affected by the new rule change. Chiefs versus Bucs in Week 9 as well. Kansas City won the toss, received the ball, and scored a touchdown, winning the game without the Bucs touching the ball on offense. Then in Week 10, the Giants played the Panthers. Giants won the toss, received the ball, fumbled, and led up a Panthers field goal. Minnesota and Chicago, Week 12, Chicago won the toss, received the ball, punted the ball, and led up a Vikings field goal. Tampa, Carolina, Week 13, Tampa Bay won the toss, received the ball, missed a field goal, forced a fumble, recovered, and made a field goal. Jets, Dolphins, Week 14. Miami won the toss, received the ball, and scored a touchdown, winning the game without the Jets touching the ball on offense. Cardinals versus Panthers, Week 16. Carolina won the toss, received the ball, punted the ball, then Arizona punted the ball, then the Panthers scored a touchdown and won the game. Denver versus Cincinnati, Week 17. Cincinnati won the toss, received the ball, punted to Denver. Denver punts back. Cincinnati misses a field goal. Denver punts, and Cincinnati scores a touchdown. A very long overtime game that ended in a Bengals victory. Then, lastly, Atlanta versus Washington, Week 17. Washington won the toss, received the ball, and scored a touchdown, winning the game without the Falcons touching the ball on offense. So, just to recap everything I've gone through if that was too fast, 5 games this past season would have been affected by the rule change, while 8 would remain unchanged. And now is where I get into my opinion on the matter, which I can't imagine is going to be a very popular one. Going into this, I am acknowledging that it is not only a bad opinion, but is the incorrect opinion. But it's just how I feel about it, and I think that's important to put out there, especially when it's bad. I actually don't despise how the rules have been set up since 2022. I think that on the stage of the playoffs, it's important to make sure each team has a chance to win, especially with how the league is set up to favor offenses. But in the regular season, the games aren't as important, they're already long enough, and they don't always have 2 top teams in the same way a playoff matchup would. If I had to be on one side 100% for, 100% against, I would say to change the rules and have them how they are now. I think it's super important to have both teams in the playoffs touching the ball. But I do think it's important to put an emphasis on defense instead of just saying my offense can score and go for 2 if they score a touchdown. So it doesn't matter how our defense plays at all. I think either way, someone has to make a stop. Prolonging it is just one way of doing it. And prolonging the games in the regular season isn't entirely necessary. Though I fully acknowledge, again, that my opinion is in the vast, vast minority and not one many people will agree with. As always with these opinion and investigation type videos, go ahead and leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Tell me if you disagree with me or agree. And I am fully expecting any amount of people that comment to disagree with me. But I really think that the example that I would pull up is like a Bucks versus Panthers, Week 13. That game was not affected by the rules. It was Tampa Bay won the toss, received the ball, missed a field goal, got it back, made a field goal. Like that game is between a really good team and a not so good team, and the rule change was not necessary for it, obviously. Then you go with one like Jets and Dolphins, where Miami won the toss, received the ball, scored a touchdown. If the Jets touched the ball on offense, honestly, I don't think they would have won that game, and I think it would have just made a long game even longer. And I don't know anybody that's really that's not a Jets or Dolphins fan that would really love watching more Jets and Dolphins football. So I think that it's important to keep games that don't really matter a little shorter. And if it means that one team gets cheated out of one win, I don't think it's as important as some people make it out to be. But again, if I had to be on one side of the coin, I would definitely be on the side of let both teams have the ball in overtime. I just think that regular season and playoffs do have different vibes and different environments, and they can and should be treated as such in certain instances. But again, let me know your thoughts and subscribe. Stick around if you want other videos like this, other topics that you want me to give horrible, horrible opinions on. Please drop them in the comments down below, and I will get to them. And with all of that said, quick little video for you. Deuces.